was going to do that earlier, but I didn't want that behind the sweat lodge thing. Good evening, Toastmasters, guests. I'm Toastmaster. When I was picking a topic for this speech, which was about 6 weeks ago, everything that came in my mind was political, like just political issues and stuff like that. And I haven't been here that long, but I was thinking, you just don't hear that much politics in these speeches. And so I was very curious about that. So I talked to several of y'all. And first person said, that's taboo at Toastmasters. We just don't do that. And another person said, well, you know, it's probably about 2/3 liberal and 1/3 conservative, and it's not good. And then somebody said, well, believe it or not, these people are very politically energized. You know, don't open the can of worms and stuff like that. We don't need that. So I made the decision, let's talk about having a revolution. It's perfect. Now there's two definitions, and the first one is a violent overthrow. I'll just put violent there. The second one is a fundamental change. Wow. And obviously, this is not a solution for me. So we're going to talk revolution number 2, fundamental change. I want to tell you real briefly what's happened to me and why I consider myself a revolutionary right now. I graduated from McCallum High School in 1968, late 60s, wow. And I graduated with the understanding that the USA is promoting freedom and democracy all over the world, and that's what we do. And that's where I was. And so I went off to college and I started learning other things about the USA and what we're doing all over the world. And my parents lived in Costa Rica, so I spent a lot of time there with a lot of Costa Ricans and got the view from the outside looking in. And I started getting active. And also at that time, I was kind of into the flower power. You know, the Beatles, All We Need Is Love, that was kind of going on. But with the research and everything, I became angry. I became an activist, and I became very mad. And so it's not a very good place to be. It's, well, I can't even tell you how mad I was. It was terrible. Luckily, an Eastern meditation came along, and I got into that and kind of just dropped all the anger, dropped all the political stuff and everything. And that kind of faded away too. So for like 30 years, I was just cynical. No involvement in politics, just cynical, which is not a fun place for me to be either. But within the last few years, I couldn't help but notice, like, there's some stuff happening I don't like. I'm having some of my freedoms taken away. I don't like that. There's people that really aren't acknowledging and using the Constitution. So it's rumbling in me. Well, I get interested in this guy named Ron Paul, which I'm sure most people are aware of, stuff like that. So I will go to a meetup group. And I'm there, and it's a great group of people. The Austin meetup group for Ron Paul is like the biggest in the nation. It's huge, and a wonderful group of people. So I'm sitting there feeling those stuff rumbling, you know, the passion, the involvement and stuff like that, getting back in. But before the meetup group was over, the fear was kicking in. It's like, man, dare I go back to that, you know, to get involved, because I don't want to be into the angry state of mind. I don't want to do that. So after the meeting, this guy's name is Paul Davis, and he runs the meetup group. I told him, I said, where I'm at, it's like, wow, I'm excited about this, but I'm really scared of that. He's going like, no, you've got it all wrong, you know? Like, if you're going to get into the anger thing with this revolution, you're just like the enemy. That's not what we're about. The revolution is about love. And probably a lot of y'all saw the logo we had. Which, see if I can draw it. It was like, the E was backwards. Oh, that's not right. Wow, that's a mess. But it says love. And if you have that on your shirt before a rally or something like that, it reflects back, written correctly, love. So that was exciting to me. So I really hadn't jumped in, and I realized that you can go for the profound change, the fundamental change, and have love in your heart, stuff like that. And I went ahead and I ran for precinct chair, and I got it and got really involved. It's really one of the funnest years I've had. And the point I'm trying to make to y'all tonight, I hope some of you can relate to that, is there is a revolution happening right now. And we can do this. But for me, the source is, it's got to be through love, and it's got to be through communicating to other people. It's not, for me, it's not coming across the television. It's not coming from other areas. It's coming from a grassroots movement, which I've been involved with. And I guess I just want to express, I'm not trying to promote, like I'll start talking politics here at Toastmasters. You know, that would be boring and stuff like that. But I'm just putting a challenge up to you to the next time you feel like you want to say something to somebody, but then you're kind of like, no, I don't want to stir them up, or I know they're at such and such party. Go ahead and do it out of love and stuff like that. And a big thing for me, and I need to look in the mirror when I say this, is listen. You know, that person is coming from their background, what they believe in, and they truly believe it. So the news, and it seems like we're all at odds. You know, it's like the Cowboys against the Packers, you know, or Democrats against the Republicans, CNN against Fox. And I'm just thinking that's crazy. That makes no sense to me. I think if we get down to the state of love and just wanting to communicate and listen to each other, that we really all kind of want the basic things. And it's going to have to be there. It's going to have to be between us. So, revolution.